Greetings, everyone. I want to say, first of all, happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to those who celebrate Halloween. Happy harvest to whoever celebrates harvest. Whatever it is, I hope your night is safe. Well, tonight, I I was like, okay, what is something that we could talk about on Halloween to kind of uh, set the mood? So tonight we are going to discuss surviving a narcissistic companion. I don't know if any of you have ever had a narcissistic companion, but I have. It's kind of funny sometimes when you think of a narcissistic person, automatically in your mind, you're thinking a person that's mean and you know that's mean and possessive and all of the things that you could think that a bad person can be. But to tell you the truth, narcissists do not start out like that. All right, so let's get into this. I'm not going to keep y'all tonight for an entire hour, but I want to tell you that there is life after a narcissistic relationship. I chose the narcissistic companion simply because tonight is Halloween. And to many of us that have been in narcissistic relationships, that individual is the boogeyman, the real life boogeyman. See, my experience with a narcissistic relationship was very, I'll say it was slow brewing. What I mean by that is, if you've listened to anything that any of my podcasts on rss.com or YouTube or anything else, you may have heard me talk about a frog. And I want you to think about a narcissistic relationship kind of like a frog. If you have a frog that's in its natural habitat and you take a pot and you don't disturb the water too much and you scoop that frog up so that the habitat that the frog is in kind of still, emulates what they're used to seeing, and put that pot on the stove and you slowly turn up the heat. The frog doesn't see the danger. It doesn't see the danger at all. Whereas if you take that same frog and you drop it into hot water, the frog is going to immediately do what? Jump out, right? So, with the narcissistic relationship, many times we are like the frog in its natural habitat that has been scooped up and the heat slowly turns up. So then by the time you realize there's danger, you're cooked. Okay? That's something I want you guys to realize. One of the dangers of getting in a narcissistic relationship is having unhealed trauma within yourself. If I can give anyone any type of advice before jumping into a relationship, I want you to make sure that you do the work to heal within yourself, because you won't seek validation or that love that you're desiring in someone else because you know how to love yourself. Keeping in mind with the narcissistic relationship, you know, that individual can, because you're going through so much, that person seems like a knight in shining armor. What I mean by that is anything that your heart desires in the beginning, that person will do it. That person, he or she may make it happen. You ask them, they're there. They're always showing up. They're just, it's unbelievable, mind blowing, and to the point where you think you are unworthy of having this person in your life. They are too good to be true. Well, honey, that is true. That person is too good to be true, because 9 times out of 10, you have vented or you have told them so much about yourself that you've given them the answers to the test to help them be successful. And because they are doing exactly what you're asking them to do, to you, they seem like a hero. But what they're doing is exploiting your trauma. Because usually when before it all fails, that person will take everything that you told them and they will turn it in such a negative way towards you that you would have wished that you never opened up your mouth to speak. So I need you guys to first of all remember to do the work within yourself to ensure that you can have a healthy and happy relationship and that you can spot red flags before getting way too deep. With the narcissist, they always have the right things to say, seem to have a solution for everything. And to the world, oh, they are the epitome of perfection. Your family looks great. To the entire world, everything looks great. But what people don't know is behind closed doors, you're going through hell. You know, whereas in the beginning, that individual may give you a compliment and be like, "Oh, baby, your hair looks so good like that." But then turn around and sniff your hair and be like, "Oh, but it smell burnt." Or that individual may say something about could say something as simple as, you know, your clothes look good today, but if you would have wore what I told you to wear, you would have looked even better. And see, I know those things may seem minor, but keep in mind, those things start slowly chipping away at your self-esteem to the point, excuse me, to the point where you start questioning your own decisions. You know, it makes you look in the mirror at yourself and wonder, am I, does my hair really smell like that? Or, does my clothes really, do they really not look good on me? It causes self-doubt. And if you are a weak-minded person, not saying that you were born weak, but if you are in a state of weakness where you feel lost or misguided or anything, this is a recipe for disaster. Especially if you are an empath, because an empath plus a narcissist is a recipe for hell for the person that's an empath. For the narcissist, it's a recipe for heaven. So, and that's usually because with empaths, many empaths, like myself, I have them now, many empaths don't have boundaries. And many narcissists, to a certain degree, are takers, so they don't have it. So, you know, they don't respect the boundaries. And they're self-centered. The only voice in the room that's more important than them is nobody's. They think they're the smartest person in the room. They would do things in order to make themselves seem like they're the smartest person in the room. Question your integrity, question the things that you do. And in the beginning, you don't even notice this. You don't. You can go into the relationship strong and confident and all of those great things. But those moments of pain or those moments of vulnerability is what a narcissistic person will use to break you down. It's kind of like giving them a key to slowly unlock the door to your pain and kind of allow that to grow. And what it does is it keeps you in a box that has a controlled environment that they basically can build you up or they can break you down. It's a very controlling situation. And it is also detrimental to your mental health, to the point of saying, when you get to the point where you are questioning your own thought process, when you are thinking about getting counseling to the degree of thinking there's something always wrong with you, nothing wrong with them, you're always doing everything wrong, you know, and this person or individual never has anything positive to say about you, those are some telltale signs that you may not be with the right person. And unfortunately, you know, people have the strong desire to not be alone. But as I stated before, being alone does not mean lonely. Being, people love to give this textbook uh, version of what a narcissist is. And I'm going to tell y'all, it doesn't look like the textbook. You might see some symptoms, but in men, it's like a cross between king baby syndrome, narcissism, ego. It's like a blend. And in women, it some women develop this because they've been deprived of certain things in their life, so they have to have a sense of control, because they may have been victimized at some point in time, that they feel like unless they control the entire narrative of a situation, then nothing good can come out of it. And it all boils down, everybody, boils down to the fact that it is nothing more than mental health. I do apologize, my phone is ringing, but it all boils down to mental health issues. And that's something that we need to keep in mind, that we need to work on ourselves. Taking the necessary steps to heal will help us have healthy, prosperous, non-toxic relationships in the future. Understanding that we need God in order to get ourselves out. Because when you are in a narcissistic relationship and when you are in too deep, you will not have the mental capacity to be able to get out of there on your own. And I want you all to understand that with that being said, you have to keep going. Just like uh, you pour into things such as your job, you pour into things such as your children or your church or anything else. You have to make sure that you are pouring into yourself. You need to feed your mind good things. If you are currently in a narcissistic relationship, here are a few steps that I'm going to give you so that you can get yourself out. See, a lot of times, one of the first things that you feel when you're in a narcissistic relationship is isolated, because that's what they do. They put you in a bubble and they slowly start to tell you negative things about your family, negative things about your friend. Or every time you go out with someone or go out with your family, it could be your mother, father, anybody. There's always an argument. There's always an argument. And it puts you into a bubble. And with that bubble, once they get you isolated, once they get you to that point of isolation, that individual can wear you down mentally to the point that you feel suicidal. And that is a very dangerous place. You're either going to feel suicidal or you're going to feel homicidal. It's one of the two. And to everyone on the outside, everything looks great. Everything looks great. Everything looks peaceful. But what they don't know is the nights that person might be walking the floor watching you, or the fact that you don't have peace in your sleep, the fact that you being timed when you go somewhere, the fact that, that individual may have so many trust issues. And now keep in mind, with the narcissistic individual, they are usually doing something themselves. And because they are doing something, they are projecting that onto you. Like if they're cheating, that individual will make it seem like you're doing things that will that basically cause them to question your integrity, your loyalty, so on and so forth. At the end of the day, you are human. At the end of the day, you deserve to be treated with love, honor, and respect. You are not a child. And anything that anything and anyone that says they love you is not supposed to hurt you. I can understand discipline if you're a child, but as an adult, you talk through things. You work through things. Nobody has the right to control your every action down to the fact of deciding what you eat, how you sleep, what time you go to bed. And I need you to take control of your life. The first step in this decision is for you to realize that the person you dealing with is toxic. And also the second step in this is to realize that you made a poor choice because of your own pain and trauma. But see, I need y'all to understand this. You can't control how that individual acts. No matter what you do, you can be the best cook, give them the best sex. You could do any and everything perfect to the T of what they are asking you. And no matter what, nothing is ever right. So you have got to understand that in order for you to survive, you have got to watch how you respond to the disrespect. I know it sounds crazy and it sounds simple, but you have to watch how you respond to the disrespect. See, because a narcissist is an attention seeker. They love to be the center of attention, no matter what, whether it's good or it's bad. They like to control everything. They like to look like they're the best person in the world. But deep down inside, a narcissistic person is a person that just basically has unhealed trauma. And I need you to understand, even if you love that person, you need to love yourself enough and love that person enough to allow them to get the help that they need. Because a narcissistic person can take your life. And they don't have to lay one hand on you. Emotional abuse is that you have scars that nobody else can see. You smile in public while you're crying on the inside, and then when you're by yourself, you cry on the inside and the outside. You're miserable. And the way that they can hold you hostage is financially. So get yourself in a position where you can make a choice to stay or leave based upon you wanting to be there, not because you need to be there because you won't be able to financially stand on your own feet. It's a sad thing that hurt people. But so that we don't become like everyone else, we've got to do the work to protect ourselves. With me, I had to cry out to God because I loved the person so much that the thought of leaving that individual weakened me. I felt like I couldn't do nothing without that person. That's how bad off I had gotten. But what I didn't realize is that what I was needing was not even in that individual. What I was missing was in God. What I was needing to do was do the work to heal myself. And so when I figured that out, I started to say affirmations that make me strong. I don't know if y'all ever heard of, well, I know y'all heard of Mary J. Blige, but a lot of her songs helped me get through, like No More Drama, Doubt, what is it? Um, she just had Good Morning Gorgeous, Mary Mary. I just made me a self-healing soundtrack to be able to pour into my own spirit until I was strong enough to do something different. And when I started doing that and I started taking care of myself, I started doing my hair again. Because I had got so depressed that I thought I needed to go to a psychiatrist, go get medication. And my doctor said, off the record, he said, I don't advise anybody about their relationships. But he said, after everything that I have talked to you about, he said, the relationship you in is slowly killing you. And I was like, how? He said, you are a healthy woman, but it's affecting your health, blood pressure, and everything. And do you all not know? Once I started making the steps and finally made the decision within my heart that I was going to leave that relationship, I started to improve health wise. I didn't have to take any medication. I got myself some friends that encouraged me. I started, doing things, of course I'll always be with my kids, but I just started doing things that focus more on my own happiness rather than rather than trying to please that person. Because I realized no matter what I would do, that individual still was not happy. And that was not a me problem, that was a him problem. All of my exes from my past, I don't hate any of them. And I love them in the way that God say love them. Because I found the lessons that I learned with those relationships became blessings for me later on in life. You can make a choice and decision to allow pain of the past to control you, or you can learn from that past and continue to navigate forward in your future. I strongly believe that we need to stop looking in the rearview mirror of life, and we need to look through the windshield of the future. I'll say that again. Stop looking through the rearview mirror of life and start looking through the windshield of the future. You learn from the past, don't stay there. I see so many podcasts about narcissists and oh my goodness, it's a narcissistic person. Everybody is not narcissists. If that's the case, every single body has some type of narcissistic trait. I mean, depending on how you were raised, you probably were raised by someone with a narcissistic trait. To me, it's a mental disorder. Now, it may be clinically diagnosed as that, but I didn't do the research to tell you that factual. So, but to me, it's a mental disorder, and it has the tendencies of a sociopath and a schizophrenic and a couple other things kind of mixed up into a collide of mental disorders, and then boom, you have a narcissist. And we need to fix this. And ladies, because I'm talking from a sense of men, from a man, but women can be narcissists too. Unfortunately, you have women that are out here that use their children as weapons against their fathers. It's shameful, but it's true. Because they can't have that individual, they do things to control the man through his children. And ladies, if that is you, that is a very dangerous game. You can't say the father of my children walked away from me when you don't tell what you did to make him walk away. Oh, he don't show up for his kids. He don't do this, he don't do that. What did you do to that individual when they were in your presence? Did you disrespect that man? Did you impede on that man's time when he had time with his children? Did you discredit any and everything he said in order to help him teach more morals and values to his kids? I need you all to think about these things. See, we can look all day long and see what is a narcissist, so on and so forth. And I actually have um some information. I know y'all can hear me, but just going on. I'm looking at women's health, and it's defined. It says, what is a narcissist? From a therapeutic standpoint, a narcissist is someone with grandiose sense of self-importance and who has a constant need for admiration and attention, explains Sonia Brill, LCSW, a trained psychotherapist based in New York City. And while narcissists usually present as being very confident, the root of narcissism is actually a lack of self-esteem, says Polisky. It's actually the hollowness this person feels that is causing these big, grandiose behaviors. You might think of it as fake it until you make it personified. And this comes from an article by Natalie Meja. It was published July 14, 2022. How to spot the signs of a narcissist and what to do if you're dating one, according to experts. So you guys can go and look at that even further. But I guess it validates the things that I said. You know, it's that false sense of importance. You know, with the individuals that I've dated in the past, they've boasted, said things like "I'm the man of the house," or "You supposed to obey me," or blah 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 blah. It's and then if you didn't listen, uh, the individuals have attempted to scold you like a child. And a strong person, whether it be woman or man, that has a sense of self, that is empowered, you will always butt heads with a narcissistic individual because you are seen as a challenge. You are seen as uncontrollable. So that person will continue to attack you and attack you and attack you and attack you until they find a point to break you down. And you will get tired. You will get tired. The best advice that I can tell you, if you know that you're in a narcissistic relationship, if you know that you're in a toxic relationship, to save your life and the life of your children or whoever else is with you, get out. There's no other way to do it. There's no solution. There's no fixing it. Get out. If you want to live, get out. Let them have someone else as their victim, because you will be messed up mentally if you sit around trying to think you're going to fix a narcissist. Because a narcissistic person does not think that there is anything wrong with them. It is something wrong with everybody else. And they do things like keep a calendar of wrongs. These individuals will threaten you, will make tactful things to try to harm you, or they might try to make you look crazy in front of other people. They are going to do any and everything within their power to make themselves look better than you. And until you yield to them and admit that they are the superior person, I call it the supremacy mentality. Until you admit that they are supreme over you, you're in for a fight. You're in for a fight. So let's not play with this, y'all. We don't need to play with this at all. Um, each and every day is a chance and opportunity for you to feed your mind good thoughts so you can think of your exit strategy to get out of here. Don't be so desperate to say that you have a man or have a woman to the point where you end your life dealing with somebody that you shouldn't have been with in the first place. That's all I'm saying. See, we don't think about the consequences of our actions at the time. Yes, you might be in love with that person. Yes, you might think that person's good for you. But if you are a parent, whether you be a woman or a man, is this person good for all of you? Meaning you and your children. Is this individual truly who you want your children to grow up to be? If the answer is no, leave. If you cannot see that the person that you're looking at every single day is the person that you want to control your life, meaning giving them the power, if you on life support, to allow you to live or die, and you can't trust that person, leave. Better yet, run. There are so many domestic violence situations that go on in households that many people are unaware of, simply because when you're in a narcissistic relationship, you're so shamed that you don't tell. You don't tell. And the person makes you feel like they are the only person in the world that cares about you. And yes, it is very, very possible to make a person feel like that, especially if a person is depressed. Depression is real. Depression looks like a smile on your face and crying on the inside. Check on the strong people, guys. Check on them people that look like their relationships are the best. Like they don't have no problems. I can promise you, everybody in every relationship has disagreements, but it's a matter of respecting each other whenever you do. No relationship is perfect. Nobody comes without baggage, but take the time out to learn your mate, learn who you're with before you move forward into something long term. I get it. You don't want to not be married and all this other stuff. But if you turn around and you having to get married 4 and 5 times, and if you marry somebody that's narcissistic and you wind up dying, this person is going to get life insurance on you. So I need y'all to really, really use your mind. Okay? I need you to use your mind and stop letting the boogeyman, the narcissistic person, control every single thing that you do in every aspect of your life. I don't know who I'm talking to tonight. I don't know who's going to stream this and who's going to watch this. But whoever hears this, it's not too late for you. You're hearing this message because it was meant for you to hear, because it is time for you to move before you lose your life. Women, we emotionally detach before we leave. So if you got to do things to emotionally detach yourself from that situation, sweetheart, make the steps so you can get out. And you ain't got to tell Sister Sally or anybody else, because you don't know who's talking to your spouse or your companion. Sometimes you got to keep it between you and God. And you just got to strategize, and you got to get out when it's safe. Get out when it's safe. Even if that means that person goes to work and you get out before then, even if it means leaving some of your stuff behind, you can always get more stuff. You can't get another life. Think about, and in a narcissistic household, I want y'all to understand it doesn't just affect the companion, it affects the children too. It affects whoever's in there. And I need you guys to take this very seriously. I need you to understand that once you make the decision to leave that person, it may be hard. It may be hard in the beginning simply because financial, how can I say, a lot of times they have control of the finances. And so that gives them kind of the upper hand to make it where you can't leave. So you got to find a way to start saving you some money. Look at some different organizations to see if you can get some help. Talk to some family, whatever you need to do. But please get out. And when you do, block them. I don't care if it's the father of your kids, block them until you are mentally ready to deal with that individual. And here's something I did, because being with the narcissistic person, if anybody tells you it's easy to get away with, no, it's not easy to get away from them, because a part of you feels like you need them. So what I did was I associate how the individual treated me to their name in my phone. And that helped me under that. It was weird, but psychologically it helped me break the cycle of picking up the phone and answering it. The phone would ring and my phone would say, "Pain is calling." Pain is calling, because my phone would talk at that time. Pain is calling. And I knew it was him. And so first 2 times I listened what he said, and every single time it was beating me down as a woman, making me feel bad, telling me the decision and choice I made was wrong, blah, 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 blah. Second time, I thought it was going to get better. He started off great. And by the end of the phone call, I was in tears, to the point where my heart felt defeated. Like I started to feel strong palpitations in my chest. And I remember what my doctor said: get out of that toxic relationship or it's going to take your life. And I had never felt my heart beat as hard as it had did at that time. But I recall hanging up the phone in the person's face and making sure I blocked them from every single thing in my life. Every single thing. And so I even blocked the individual from my cell phone, because when I didn't pick up the phone, there were bad messages coming through. And because it dings, you look at it, and that made me feel even worse, because it was in words and it just stood there. So if you're going to cut somebody off that's narcissistic, baby, you got to go cold turkey. You got to go cold turkey to save your life. And trust and believe me, you see me, I am happy. I am happy. I am free. And it took time for me to get to this place, but I would not trade my peace for a peace, if you know what I mean. It's a brand new version of myself, because when I realized the key to having a healthy relationship is first making sure I have a healthy relationship with myself. Oh, it unlocked the power of me. And so I hope that this message helps to unlock the power of you, because you deserve to be free. You deserve to be loved, and you are absolutely enough. You are enough. And I want you to know that. And I need you to believe that. And I don't care how many times you listen to this message. I promise you, there is a rainbow on the other side of that toxic relationship. I have prospered so much since I let that go and I let God. Because the Bible even tells you, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and everything else should be added. Regardless of what your belief may be, I'm telling you my story. I'm telling you how I made it and how I'm still making it. That I asked God to hide my heart so far into him that a man has to seek God's face. They have to seek God in order to have my heart. My sweetheart now, trust and believe me, he know. But understand, in order for me to love the man that I'm with now, I had to take the time and do the work and learn how to love me first. And when I did that, I was ready to love my now companion. So I want you all to know that your next relationship will be your best relationship, because your next relationship is with yourself. Because when you When you get in a relationship with yourself and you love you, you will be able to know and understand when someone else is not loving you right. You will be able to spot red flags in a heartbeat. But you got to love you first. You got to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are enough. And the thing is, nobody can tell you when to leave someone. That is your choice. That is your free will. And that is also your funeral. Choose better because you deserve better. You may not have a college degree. You may not be the richest person in the world. You may not be a person that walked out of Jet magazine. But look at The Color Purple and look at Miss Seeley. She was free. Look at The Color Purple. If you really don't understand what a narcissistic relationship look like, look at The Color Purple. It's coming out Christmas time, but y'all look at the old version of Color Purple first. Then you can look at that new version. That man was a wholehearted narcissist with king baby syndrome, and he was a cheater. Okay, another one, Ike Turner. Okay, Ike Turner. All right. So if you can't look and see your own situation, look at some of these movies that's out here of narcissistic men and women and ask yourself, I went through 5 years of pain. Do I want to go another 5 years in pain? And if you say no, then right here at this very moment, make the decision to start taking care of you, mind, body, and inside your soul. Start reading books. I do have a book that I want you guys to read. Let me get that one moment. For those of you that are women and men, you can read this too if you want to. But this book right here, it's a 90-day devotional. Hold on, if I can get in the camera. It's a 90-day devotional. It's called A Woman of Purpose and Power by Dr. Miles Monroe. And I just started reading some of these things, but it has a lot of scriptures and things inside of it that can really, really help build you if you don't understand what your purpose is. If you don't understand how you should be loved correctly. A Woman of Purpose and Power is great. And men in Walmart, they have devotionals in Walmart also, because I need y'all to get out of toxic relationships too. There are good women that's out here that are willing to love you, but that woman deserves the healed version of you. This is not Build-A-Bear, people. And that's what's wrong. You have broken people with low self-esteem developing these mental disorders simply because they choose not to do the work. And unfortunately, if you've been in a narcissistic relationship, because you've been with that individual, you take on the characteristics of that individual also without you even unknowingly. Okay? So you have to deprogram yourself, debrief. You have to get that toxicity out of your system. That doesn't mean go have sex with the next Joe Blow, blah, blah, blah. That's a soul tie. You don't need that. Work on you. Work on you, guys. This right here. Work on yourself. Woman of Purpose and Power for ladies. Men, get you a daily devotional. If you don't do nothing but say some self-affirmations, get you some friends, get you some positive people in your life that's going to uplift you, because that's how you survive. Because a narcissistic person isolates you from friends, from family, from anything that's good, even from church. They get to the point where They'll start listening into your conversations where you feel uncomfortable even talking to your loved ones, tracking you as if you're being hunted. I've seen some very, very sick narcissistic situations, been through some very sick narcissistic situations. I've known women that have had situations where the man would taste the pH balance of their body to make sure that their body tastes the same as it did when they left the house. Okay? Or you got women that will have a man pull down his pants to smell his penis to see if it smells like fresh soap or something like it's some sick individuals that's out here, guys. And because they have their own trust issues, because they chose not to do the work to fix them, they are projecting onto you, and that's not fair to you. I don't care how good she look, I don't care how good he look, I don't care what the bedroom is. You're getting old. You're getting older. And you need to be with someone that's going to appreciate you as a person, value you as a person, someone that's not going to harm you with their words. Guys, as I stated before, well, I stated on my podcast, keep in mind rss.com. The name of my podcast is J.Marie, Marie Speaks. My website is www. Jmarie, JMARIEINK.com. If you want, and you can get my podcast, sign up for more workshops, because I'll be doing more things in the future. Right now, I'm trying to build up a virtual audience so that we can do more in-person events and bring more people in. But I need y'all to be okay. You know, I had someone ask me, why do you do this? I know somebody out there that needs help. And people are always on social media. Always on social media. I'm just hoping that my live stream actually finds the right person and helps them. Keep in mind, you guys, you can always send me a message. You can post a comment. You know, if there's any type of topics that you all would like to see, let me know. But I don't know. I just don't dwell on the narcissistic person, because I know the narcissistic individual is sick. And I need you to look at them as if they are sick, that they have some type of mental disorder, and that they look help, that they need help, because they do. I need you to pray for them, intercede for them, do whatever you can, but do not allow them to drive you crazy, because they will do that. You will find yourself on First and 48 or Snapped dealing with the narcissist. All right? Emotional abuse is a scar that nobody can see. And I need y'all to stop playing with fire, because if you play with fire, trust and believe me, you will get burned. And you don't need that. You are enough. And I need you to believe that you are enough. So I need you to keep going, keep pushing, keep going, keep growing, all of those good things, because I know you can do it. I know you can do it. Starting here, starting right now. I don't care what your situation looks like. You are empowered to change it, because you have free will from God. Now, strategize. Act like you are first and goal for football. You strategize that next move so that you can make a touchdown. Keep in mind, if you ain't fixed that person by now, you're not going to fix them. Because the thing is, the only person that can change an individual is a person that wants to be changed. And if a person, meaning in this case a narcissistic person, doesn't see anything wrong with what he or she may be doing, or however someone classifies themselves as gender, they are the only ones that can change them. You can't control them. Don't let them control you. Set boundaries and stick to them. And remember, how you respond, how you respond to a narcissist helps you own and hold the power. I promise you. Because they look for a reaction from you. And if they don't get a reaction, they become unbothered. Oh, it does something to their self-esteem. It does something to their ego. Silence sometimes is the best killer. But don't be a pushover. Don't yell, don't scream, none of that. Just be like, oh, okay. That's how you feel? There's 7 billion people in this world. I'm not going to allow the opinion of you or anyone else to dictate how I feel because I know who I am. And I know whose I am, meaning God. When you know who you are and whose you are, when God before you, who can be against you? You can't fight a narcissist by yourself. You have to have God. Other than that, you're fighting a losing battle because you're fighting against a spirit. You're fighting against something that you can't see. Okay? So anyway, for those of you that will join me later, I say hi. I hope everybody is safe and having a happy harvest or a happy Halloween or whatever you choose to celebrate. Just a happy day. And y'all like, subscribe, share this message. If it's anything that I can do to help, please let me know. I will be back on here next week, Tuesday. And we'll see what topic God put on my heart. But tonight, it was a narcissist. And this is about all I'm going to give to a narcissistic conversation. There are so many podcasts and everything else about narcissists and how to beat a narcissist and all that. The secret to beating a narcissist is loving you. When you love you so much, you're not going to let anything or anybody hurt you. Okay? You're not going to do it. So build you, mind, body, and soul. Read good things, empowering words. Go to church. Get into places and spaces that feed your soul. Okay? Stay prayed up and make financial decisions that are going to help move you into the era where you need to be. And if you don't know how to get out, let me tell you something. You're an adult. So that means you have the power to move out if you need to. Pull your credit, y'all. Pull your credit. Get all 3 of your credit reports. Also pull your rental history. Look and see where you stand as far as qualifying to be able to get you your own place. And if you don't qualify at the time, start talking to family members that you know don't associate themselves with that individual and see what you can do to move yourself into a safe space. Start making moves. Start making moves. And if you're going to stay with somebody, offer them something and give them a time frame of when you expect to move out. But you got to get out that situation. Stop complaining about it. And do not allow the narcissistic individual to keep you from dating someone else. Forgiveness is powerful. The only way I was able to move forward, I had to forgive him. I did. I had to forgive him and every ex in my past that ever hurt me. I had to forgive anybody that has ever done anything, even the worst stuff. And you forgive others not because they deserve it, but to set yourself free. Forgiveness is powerful. Okay? When you forgive somebody, and you don't have to call them and be like, I forgive you. No, you don't have to do that. Just start moving different. Just start moving different. Look at yourself and in the mirror and say, I'm a brand new me. I am beautiful. I am courageous. I am bold. I am kind. I am smart. Tell yourself these things until you believe them. I had to, guys. I had to tell myself this through tears. And my family did not have a clue of the hell that I was going through. None. None. Because on the outside, everything looked picture perfect. But on the inside, it was hell. And this was at least for 2 of my relationships. Okay? But see, I'm at a place of peace in my life, and I'm not letting nothing and nobody destroy that. I fight for my peace. I will cut everything off in my life to maintain. I don't care if it's my kids. I will cut everything off in my life to maintain my peace of mind. Because God and my when I'm at peace, I can hear God's voice. When I'm not at peace, things get a little cloudy. So this is right here. If you put your hands together like this, see that? Look like an airplane. Put your hands together like this. Here is my peace. It's my center. I'm trying to even it up. There we go. This is my center. And this is where God and my peace dwell in the same place. So with that being said, if my peace shift up or my peace shift down or any of those things happen where it's not aligned with God, then I need to eliminate whatever it is in my life that's causing me to not be there with the Most High. That's all I'm saying. You want to get out of a narcissistic relationship? Get in touch with God. Dial heaven. Dial heaven, honey. Dial heaven. I say 1-800-God, you got it. Because when I was done, I was done. But see, God didn't bring, and this is the thing. Don't make the mistake of saying, God, you gave me this relationship. This God ain't give you nothing. Okay? Read 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter, verses 1 through 40. And I can promise you that God would, according to Paul, God would prefer us to be single and untouched and worshiping him. We make these choices and decisions to be in these relationships. God helps us through our choices and decisions, but God is not the reason why we're there. We chose that. So take accountability because you are in your situation because you chose that for yourself. He sent you red flags, but you didn't listen. You didn't listen. So your narcissistic person is also a part of you too. So hold yourself accountable. Just like you forgive them, forgive yourself. And make good choices and good decisions from this point on to keep it moving. So on this Halloween night, y'all, let's get rid of the boogeyman called a narcissistic companion or a narcissistic baby mama or a narcissistic baby daddy or narcissistic anybody in your life. And make sure you look in the mirror and ensure that you aren't the narcissist yourself. Because if you're in a narcissistic relationship, you have to debrief. You have to detox that person out of your life because you're going to carry that behavior over to the next person. Because you become, my mother always say, you become like, what mama said, you become like the 5 or 6 people that you're around. Said if everybody around you, if it's 6 people around you that's smart, you're going to be the 7th. If it's six people around you that's stealing, you're going to be the 7th thief. Y'all get what I'm trying to say. We have the power to impact change each and every day. And as long as God gives us breath in our body, we have the power to make a change. Don't ever let anybody make you feel weak or like you can't do it. I am a living testimony that there is life after a narcissistic relationship. And baby, it is beautiful. It is peaceful and prosperous. So I want that for you. Are you ready? Are you truly ready to release that boogeyman from your life on this Halloween night? Are you truly ready? If you are, Here's my hands, take my hands, and we go together. And you're ready and you can do this. I know you can. God bless y'all and have a good night.